And how is your morning going, by the way?
Going very well. All right, so we are live. Let's see. Testing.
And how is your morning going, by the way?
Ooh, going very well. All right, so we are live. I think it's working. This is fun.
It's delayed.
Yeah, there's a delay.
For whoever's out there in the multiverse, hi.
They can't see you yet because we still got the Unblinded logo.
Ah, so it's pure audio.
I'm trying to figure out if it's on LinkedIn as well.
Happy Fun Friday.
Happy Fun Friday. Well, maybe we should just do it and we'll see what happens and we'll take it from there. How does that sound? I am going to switch this. And we are live, Patricia. We are live with the Unblinded Roundtable, and I guess it would probably be a good idea to lean into what is the Unblinded Roundtable, what's the genesis of all this, and where are we going, what are we doing? So would you like to start there?
I think a beautiful place to start would be, who are you? And what is this all about? So I think it would be beautiful to actually start in that space. And I would actually love to take the moment to introduce David Rush to everyone in this space. Yes, it's streaming through his page. Yes, you guys have some acquaintance with him. But I'm going to say hello from who I know him to be. So D. Rush, aka D. Rush. This individual has been a person of beautiful influence in the unblinded space, also has a wonderful history within the Templar Corporation in working with leaders from various industries, various fields and levels, and really just being able to help with their communication skills, being able to really help them strengthen how they show up and the ways in which they're able to connect and how they're able to truly hear what the other person is speaking. So when it comes to leadership development on communication and being able to truly connect and clearly communicate, David Rush has always been the guy. So that is who I know him as, everyone. David Rush.
Amazing, my illustrious co-host. I suppose I should introduce to everyone who Patricia Marseille is in my world and what I know of Patricia. Patricia is one of the most, in my mind, dynamic communicators, leaders, and people who show up powerfully in all kinds of dynamics and situations and conversations. And she is known as the conscious leader, and she is one of the senior executives in the Disney organization, and she has driven change, caused transformation. And one thing that recently really was highlighted about Patricia is her beautiful energy in how she provides a space for others to step into that empowers them to step into their own greatness, to step into their power, their leadership in ways that we don't often get access to. And I've, in my own experience, because Patricia and I have a dynamic relationship ourselves, just being in conversation with Patricia is something that has made a profound difference on my life, my leadership, how I show up in the world. And so Patricia I'm honored, I'm privileged to be sharing this space, which we are calling the Unblinded Roundtable, moving forward with you. And yeah, I'm blessed, I'm grateful, and this is exciting to be on a new adventure in where we're going.
And the feeling is absolutely mutual. David, for the sake of really just this audience getting to know a little something new about you, what about a fun fact?
Ooh, I like fun facts. A fun fact is that I love surfing, but the fun fact behind that is I was a lifelong lover of the movie Point Break with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze, and only recently dipped into my love for surfing. And we just went on the Unblinded Immersion Accelerator experience and took some.
And I surfed for the first time.
And you were on a surfboard for the first time, and now I'm bringing the fun energy because it is Fun Friday, and I was talking about something that was amazing. So that was awesome to share the surf and the ocean and the boards with you. How was that experience for you?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Now, I ate a lot of sand, that was for sure. But with all of that, it was absolutely amazing. The instructor was spectacular. He was really great in paying attention to each one of us, although he had like 10 of us out there at one time. He was really great when he spent the time with each one of us out there and how to get on the board, how to stay on the board, and even upon flipping over, because there were several times where I completely flipped over to the point where other unblinded members came over to me and they're like, "Are you broken?" Because backflipped, it was everything all over the place, and still coming out of it like, whew, okay, I'm not in the direction I thought I'd be in, but okay, there goes the board and let's go back in. So that part of it was totally fun. I'm glad I was able to at least get on my knees twice and partially stand up once. So that in and of itself was like, all right, that's a win. So I was happy.
Amazing. Well, I acknowledge you for your bravery and your courage, because I know it takes something that first time, and certainly it's a treacherous road sometimes in those waves and navigating a board for the first time. So that's amazing.
Oh yeah, it was totally fun. So back to this space, our roundtable, the Unblinded Roundtable. Why this? Why now?
What is
the Unblinded Roundtable? For me, the Unblinded Roundtable is actually a space to bring in leaders from all industries, from all fields, and be able to simply have some conversation on some key elements of leadership, of influence, of self-mastery, of process mastery, and to be able to have a very simple dialogue of what are people doing? Like, how are you taking the time to master yourself? How are your teams doing it? What are some distinctions that people are seeing out there? And really just being able to help one another in the simplicity of sharing personal experiences, sharing personal challenges, because sometimes I don't know what the answer is. I'm simply just trying to figure it out, and that's okay too. So this roundtable is really just allowing everyone to come as they are and just share thoughts, share ideas, and simply connect with one another in that space to know that we are not alone and we are all in this together. So David, I'd love for you to actually lean in and share with everyone, like, I'm speaking on leaders. Who's a leader?
Well, it's interesting. It's always fun following you because it's a challenge in how eloquently you describe the space and what we're looking to do. So I echo everything you said, and leaning into that, who's a leader or what leaders are we speaking to? I'd say the other thing that will evolve out of this is the pointed topics we're going to have, as well as what are we talking about? What are the spaces from a corporate dynamic, the things that are top of mind in leadership and communication, in driving results, but also some of those topics that we're all dealing with keeping employees in the fray, to dealing with diversity and inclusion, to dealing with all different kinds of resiliency and growth and components that are top of mind for leaders and organizations. And as you said, like, who are leaders? Leaders are anyone who is driving results, driving outcomes, and has that kind of expertise that they want to share, they want to connect, and they want to forward. Because I think that's what we're always about, is the contribution and the forwarding of the development of topics, dynamics, and growth for all, so that we can all, 1 + 1 = a trillion.
A trillion.
Yes.
And so that may look like, in regards to some titles that may present themselves in this space, it can be a C-suite executive, it can be an entrepreneur, it can be a CEO, it can be a senior manager, like all levels of leadership. It can be a manager of a 15-person team or a 2-person team. It's really every single person, as you have stated, who is leading a result and looking to meet an outcome. So how do you ensure that you get there? And this is the space that we dive into some of that conversation.
Yeah, and I love how it's a space. And this is one of the things that we often talk about, is the idea of a shared experience and bringing dynamic individuals together and what that creates. Because I know when I'm trying to communicate something solo versus being able to flush it out with an expert like yourself, Patricia, the conversation evolves. And that's a lot of what we're looking to do here, is bring in dynamic individuals to evolve a conversation, evolve a topic that's of benefit and of contribution to anyone who's tuning in, wants insight, wants to dig deeper into these dynamics in a shared environment. And so that's what I'm excited about. Anything else that's top of mind there for you, Patricia?
Just as the great Yoda has said, there is no try. Do or do not, but there is no try. And so in this space, we definitely lean into the do more than the do not. And it is truly just about being present, being conscious, being aware, and connecting with each other, and allowing that to be the foundation of our shared experience.
I love that. I mean, should we say a little bit about the Unblinded dynamic, the formula, and some components? So just to frame that for everyone, Unblinded is an organization that's really committed to people evolving in a number of different dynamics, from the way that we show up most powerfully, our self-mastery, to the way that we connect and communicate and develop relationships, which you might call influence mastery. And then the third component is, how do we maximize, actualize, and accelerate the outcomes that we want? And that's what you might call process mastery. So just to outline all of that, we will regularly bring in the context and the filter of the Unblinded formula, which speaks into all of those components. And I'm excited to bring that kind of conversation into all the conversations we're going to have as well, Patricia.
Absolutely. And for those of you out there who are wondering about just the practical stuff, like, I'm sitting here today and I am having a little detox session on my own self-mastery.
I probably shouldn't tell you that I'm having a Dunkin' iced coffee, because that's like, not the same stuff to put into your system.
No, it's like toxic. But I am currently doing a detox for my system, because this weekend was really, like, food-wise, fried food, sugar. It was like all the things that my body's like, what have you done? So I've been spending today, pretty much, yesterday and today has been my detox. And tomorrow I will be off of it and back to my fun status of eating. But it was just a little overload this past weekend. So that's another element of what we'll be leaning into as well, is really just leaning into self-mastery. What does that look like when you're leaning into the practicality of self-mastery? How are you managing your health? How are you managing your mind, your emotional state? What are all the ways that you are leaning in that way? in order to ensure that you are showing up at your most optimal state in life and living the best version of you. So these are the little things that we will lean into in and out over time. So we have stated to you everything of what this is. David, do you want to lean into everything of what this is not?
That is interesting. What this is not is... That's a good question. I'd say what this is not is it's not an environment where we are looking to project knowingness and that like this is the only way, this is the pathway. I think it is not a closed conversation. It's an open conversation. It's an open dialogue. It's an open space where we're actually looking for dynamic folks to come in and share their expertise. So that's how I would lean into what it's not. And that's actually a challenging way to speak into it. So thank you for, and that's what this is, that's actually what this will be, is an environment where we will ask some questions, you will ask some questions, and it will push and pull us to grow inside the conversation itself. So thank you for that access, Patricia. Maybe I'll ask you the same question. What is this not?
It is not a lecture. It is 100% dialogue. It is not about a scripted connection or communication. It is about a conscious conversation. It is not about commercializing or an individual coming on stage or onto this roundtable to simply present a product or a service. It is truly about the connection of minds, hearts, and souls, presenting what leadership looks like, presenting what influence looks like, presenting what self-mastery looks like, process mastery looks like, when you lean into your own truth, for the better or for the worse, but simply what it looks like when you lean in. So that will be the joy of this space. Those are all the things it is not. These are all the things that it is. So we just look forward to having fun playing this full out, having other people step into this space, join the conversation. If you're out there and you want to join the conversation, let us know, because more to the party, the more fun it is. You know how parties are, the more people, the better. So
I was gonna interject earlier and say that was a mic drop moment, but I have a pen, so maybe it's a pen drop moment, and that is what it is. It will be lots of pen drop and mic drop moments to create a lot of insight, a lot of dynamic conversation and value. Like, it's really about unpacking value for anyone watching, anyone being a part of the conversation. And yeah, as you just said, Patricia, all are welcome. So reach out if you want to be a part of this as it evolves, and we'd love to have you join, because it is called the Roundtable, and right now it's probably a straight table with just 2 participants, but that's not how it will look moving forward. We're going to have a number of
I don't know how straight it is.
Yeah.
It's rounded. I'm just on one side. You're on the other.
All right. Roundtable. I stand corrected. Here we go. Amazing. So should we wrap up this little conversation? Anything final? What's the final? And we'll head off into Fun Friday.
Final. Join the fun. Join the conversation. Lean in. Give us your insights. Give us your thoughts. This is about all of us coming together, growing together, being together. No one person has to stand alone, and no one person has to learn alone. We're in this together. So we're happy to have you. Thank you for having us and participating in the energy that we have here. And we love having yours as well. That's my final.
I love that. And maybe we'll just close with, in the Unblinded terminology, we are all just blind and learning to see. And that's what this is about as well. The Roundtable is about learning to see new avenues, new pathways, new things that we can uncover that collectively raise everything to higher levels, raise us to higher levels. And that's what we're looking to facilitate. So amazing, Patricia.
Ooh,
Ooh.
I think there's an element of access that we forgot to actually share.
Uh-oh.
Frequency.
Mm.
Frequency. How often is it that we are actually going to be here that people can have access to this roundtable?
Great question. Well, initially, it will be a weekly conversation on Fridays at noon. And so that's the plan moving forward. Fridays at noon, weekly conversation, short and sweet, usually about a half hour, and see where we evolve from there. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Awesome. Awesome. So you can catch us during your lunchtime. You can actually brown bag it and join us. Maybe I'll bring a sandwich next time. I don't know. Something. Today it's my smoothie. So I did join during a lunchtime little
Nice
cleansing session. So absolutely join us for the fun. Join us for the conversation. We are more than thrilled to have you. And thank you for allowing us to share a little love, share a little hope, share a little insight, and leaning into leadership together.
Away we go.
Bye for now.
All right. Take care, everyone.